Do you still believe that you have no power over the world of senses? Do you still believe that you can't fix anything? You can't change any facts? And do you give meaning to events and circumstances other than the ones you should? If this is you, this video today is going to help you to have more faith in yourself, to understand how you can manifest amazing things from doing nothing, and how this world of senses doesn't mean anything and it's just an illusion. And as God, as the creator, as source, you choose what version you want to experience. So I have this beautiful client of mine who allowed me to share her story because for sure I asked her, please, please, please let me share this story publicly because it's going to help so many people. So about 2 years ago, this client of mine was out of work, and the government of her country helped people who have no job for a while. And she was given some money. She had some government money going to her for a few months. But earlier this year, so she had been working for a while. Earlier this year, she received a message from this association, this government association, whatever you want to call it, who gave her money. She was asked to give them back 2,350 euros, which is about $2,600 if you are in the US. And she was shocked and she was like, no way. I don't want to give over 2,000 euros, 2,300 and some euros, just like that, when I know that it's money I never asked for, that's money I was owed by the rules of my government, and now they want some back, and I'm not in a situation where I can just give them that money, and I don't want to give them that money. I don't owe them that money. So she came to me and she explained to me what was going on and how all of a sudden she was asked to reimburse some money that she didn't feel that she owed. And if she's God, she thought that, you know what, I could just decide that I don't owe them that money and it's going away. And I said, of course you can. Of course you can decide to experience the version where you don't owe them that money. So there is a version which exists, we don't need to deny it, where she owes 2,350 euros. But she wants to experience a version where she doesn't owe anything. So she just decided, she didn't do anything specific except maybe imagining that she was receiving a message, you don't owe anything, or she would go on her account and see that she was not owing anything anymore. So she did that. That's the only thing that she did visually. Imagine that her account showed nothing, no money owed, no money due, and that's it. She had really made the decision, I'm not paying that money, period. I'm not paying this. I don't owe this money. I don't want to hear about it anymore. However, she kept receiving every couple of weeks or so reminders that she still owed the money. So every time she received those reminders, she stayed still, remembered who she truly is, and said, no, I don't care what you're saying. I don't owe this money. So she maintained her state, her decision, where she didn't owe that money. But every time she received those reminders, of course, it affected her a little bit. But she did her best to say, no, I'm sticking to my decision. I don't owe them any money. But a couple of weeks ago, she received a more serious last message. in the form of a text where she was told, this is the last reminder before your case is sent over to the court. So it made her feel very nervous. And she was like, oh boy, it didn't work. I did my best and it still didn't work. So she thought about the whole thing for about an hour about what to do. What do I do? Do I still ignore them or do I call them? Because if it didn't work, I'd rather settle with them about a payment plan, which is why they kept reaching out to her rather than the thing going to court. So she decided to call. And she called and she had a woman on the phone and she said, I don't know what's going on. You have sent me a message saying that I owe you money. I don't know why I would owe you money. I never asked for that money. That money was given to me when I needed it. I don't understand what's going on. So the woman that she had on the phone explained her a few things, whatever. And my client just asked the question as if she didn't know, right? Anyhow, how much do I owe you? And the woman on the phone says to her, you owe 77 euros. And when she heard 77, she had her repeat. She said, I'm sorry, how much do I owe? You owe 77 euros. So when she heard that, so 77 euros is about, I don't know, $85, by the way. So when she was told that, she was like, oh my God, it did work. So she says to the woman, okay, how can I pay that? She was glad to pay 77 euros when she knew that she owed over 2,300 euros. So what happened to those 2,300 euros? We don't know. Well, we do know, right? We know that she had chosen a version where she didn't owe that money. So she owed 77 euros now. So my client asked the woman, why do I owe 77 euros? And the woman tells her, well, because you were given a Christmas bonus last year, which you were not really entitled because she had not filled the requirement back then, blah, blah, blah. So the money they were asking her was 77 euros, not 2,350 euros, just because she had received a bonus, a Christmas bonus that she was not entitled to because she was already working, whatever. So she was amazed. And she realized, like, oh my God, isn't it true when Sylviane is telling me, don't give meaning to anything, don't declare that you have lost, don't give meaning to anything negative, unless it's the meaning that you want to give it, right? But if you know that you have decided of something, you have decided that I want this, even if the 3D appears to show you that you have lost, you haven't lost. So every time she received throughout those 2.5 past months or so, she received every couple of weeks reminders, give us our money, give us our money, give us our money. Let's set a payment plan. She really believed that she had lost. She believed that, oh my God, they're still asking me for that money when I know I made the decision. I don't owe anything. It's gone. I am not in that version of things anymore. So why is it not working? See, she was giving meaning to that fact, to that event, to that 3D event. The meaning she was giving it is, I failed all the way to the end. Like the last one, the one that scared her so much that she finally decided to call and see what's going on. And she's glad she did, because otherwise she would have been sent to court for 77 euros that she could just pay just like that, of course. So that's my success story for you today, guys. You see how even when you owe government money, an institution that belongs to the government, and tells you that you owe a number, and that number really appears to be real, right? It's real. It's telling me I owe 2,350 euros. That's a lot of money. And I need to give that money. But when you know who you are, right? When you know that you are source and that the world out there that you believe to be so hard to the touch, so real, it's just an illusion. It's the dream that you are dreaming as the dreamer. Remember, the dreamer is you, your real you, source, I am, that is dreaming this dream of life, right? So she decided, I don't like this story. I don't like this dream. I want the one where I don't owe them anything. I don't owe that money. So she ended up owing just a little fraction, right? She ended up having to pay 77 euros just because basically she received a Christmas gift that she was not entitled to. Whatever, that's fine. She took it. She accepted that version. That's fine. Maybe, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, she still had to pay 77 euros because every time she received the reminders, oh, she started to feel bad again. She started to feel, oh, it's not working. See, if she had maybe managed to not react at all, like if it was not even happening at all, maybe it would have come down to zero. But it's okay. It's still an extremely successful story because it shows that even with doubts in the middle, and I've always told you that, guys, you can manifest even with doubts in the middle. So she had doubts. Every time she received those reminders, she had doubts. Why is it not working? Why are they still asking me for that money? But the thing is, it was working and it had already been working. So I hope this story really helped you guys. Please tell me in your comments what you think about this beautiful story. Tell me if it helps you. Tell me if you have any questions. And thank you so much for watching. And I have more interesting success stories in the horizon that I'll be sure to tell you about. And again, thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.